A beautiful morning. Good morning to our viewers across the world. It's Ayo Adams on the sports segment of the weekend show. And just before I start, the lifestyle segment just finished with Janet and Mr. Andy Madaki talking about people living with disability. All Nigerians, we implore you that you please continue to support people living with disability. They are part of us. They are all of us. And they are one family. They are one Nigeria. Welcome back. Welcome to the sports segment. We're running you through some of the biggest headlines from the world of sport. Nothing major in the world of sport than Serena Williams, who bowed out of tennis yesterday. From the girl who started to play in 1995 in Quebec, in Canada, has now bowed out from the WTA women's tennis after retiring at the US Open tournament yesterday after losing. Serena Williams has been amazing and she's won 23 Grand Slam titles. She's a beautiful fit. She's an icon. She's a super mom and she's a queen of the game and an inspiration for everyone around the world. Well, I'm not alone in the studio. A regular face is back here with me. I'm here with Daniel Chris, a Manchester United fan. You can see with his cameo here, ready to support his club and give us some thoughts about what has been going on. And it's been transfer window. This segment totally dedicated to the transfer window that closed on Thursday. And we'll be running you through some of the deadline day drama. Aubameyang moving to Chelsea, Arthur moving from Juventus to Liverpool, and a cameo from Anthony, who refused to train with Ajax just because he wanted to push a move to come and meet his dad in Manchester United at the Old Trafford. All of that will be discussed on the sports segment this morning. Well, let's go quickly to the teams who have been, riling us up in the transfer window. We've had Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Manchester United, and Barcelona. But we'll start with Chelsea. Chelsea brought in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Yeah.
If, hypothetically, you're an Arsenal fan, do you believe, or if you're a Chelsea fan, hypothetically, as an Arsenal fan, the London derby will be soon upon us? Do you think that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, if he scores, will celebrate against Arsenal?
Well, I think he will, because his exit wasn't one that any player will be proud of. So this is like a comeback for him to England. So coming back on that coach he's worked with before, he has something to prove.
And there's just something being significant with Chelsea captains going back to Manchester United, going back to Arsenal captains going to Chelsea. Same happened with Cesc Fabregas. Now we're seeing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Are we going to see Odegaard in the future?
Well, it's more like a transitional thing. So from Arsenal to Barcelona and back to Chelsea. So we started out with Fabregas and now with Emerick Aubameyang. Odegaard, you can take it away, even though he's been with Madrid, but you never know how this thing works. You never know in football.
Yeah. You never know. Let's bring it back to Manchester United. It's been an amazing transfer window. Looking back into how the team has been in disarray, but then we'll get there. We'll get there. But let me run you through. Nottingham Forest happens to be the team who has made the most transfers in the transfer window. 22 players.
Yeah.
22, which has Taiwo Awoniyi and Emmanuel Dennis in the super strikers for Nigeria. 22 players. What does that say for players who they met at the club?
I think Nottingham, if you go back, if you're a long-time football fan, you know what they used to be back in the
history.
day. So coming back to the EPL, they don't want to go back to the second division. I think the man he's putting in everything, blood, water, sweat. So I think for the Nigerian players who's been in the squad, it's a good time to prove yourself.
Yeah,
you're in the EPL, basically the most popular league on earth. So,
yeah.
And it's a good thing for Nottingham. They're already been competitive. You saw them play against Tottenham and the rest of them. So I think he's headed towards something.
All right, then. Nottingham Forest are here to stay. Signing the most amount of players in the Premier League on the transfer window. 22 players were counted, and in there happens to have our very own Taiwo Awoniyi and Emmanuel Dennis. But we'll move on to another team who has been making the rounds in the transfer window. Where also West Ham, who also signed a large amount of players, as 1, 2, 3, about 8 to 9 players also into their ranks. David Moyes isn't playing in the Premier League this season, and another team who has also been. They've been consistent in the transfer window. Talk about Manchester United, who brought in Anthony, who happens to be the most expensive transfer in the window. Then they also brought in a veteran Champions League winner, Casemiro from Real Madrid. Then the player who was under a whole lot of criticism bringing in because of his height, and he's been one of the best players so far in the Premier League since he's been brought in, talking about Lisandro Martinez for Manchester United. Daniel, tell us here real quick, what is Ten Hag cooking up with Anthony, Casemiro, and Lisandro Martinez? They happen to be the significant parts of this campaign. Mm-hmm. Anthony will be a cameo from the right-hand side. Greenwood isn't in the shop. That kind of trickery has been missing. Casemiro with the aggressiveness and the winning mentality that Man United has been lacking for a long time. He's won 5 Champions League, so you can put that there. And Lisandro Martinez was just out of the box and has been aggressive so far. What are we expecting from this Man United team? despite the fact that it's given us 3 wins out of 3.
So I think my constant smile when instead of talking about Manchester, I should have answered the question already. Because you see a coach who's building something he knows how to do well. I mean, look at the players he's brought in. So when he was bringing in Casemiro, he set the cement between the stones. You can see that the DM has been a marriage problem for almost a decade after Carrick's exit. And then Lisandro Martinez, Anthony, these are players who, I mean, if you watch the past 3 games, you see what Lisandro brings to the defense.
Yeah, that aggression.
The high fives and defenses, the ginger, the morale. It's not been there since
Making
Vidic and
defensive
Ferdinand.
tackles look as if you're scoring a goal.
Well, you can raise the hype if you want to, but I mean, I think Eric is rebuilding a team we would all want to see.
All right, then. And then moving on to another team who have also broken the transfer window with multiple players being brought in. I mean, talk about Barcelona, who brought in the goal machine from Germany, Robert Lewandowski, like they call him, the tricky of Rafinha, Frank Kessie for balance in the midfield, Koundé for aggression in defense, and Christensen to back up also in the defense. I mean, just run us quickly. Barcelona with this array of superstars, should they be winning a title this season?
Well, you said Lewandowski and a very great assistant in Rafinha. I mean, I don't know. I think Barcelona did a full overhaul. I mean, getting in Bellerin, letting De Jong stay, and the rest. They are really headed for not just the La Liga title, but I think the Champions League too.
I mean, this has been the most competitive Barcelona has been since Messi went through his blonde face.
Yes. I mean, if you look at it, you have Pedri in the midfield doing what Messi was trying to do at the time. So it's like the Barcelona we used to know is coming back.
I mean, the Barcelona we used to know might be coming back. That's what Daniel says. And I strongly agree with him on that point because I'm a Barcelona fan and I will not shy away from calling it out on TV. But then moving on to something more significant on the transfer window, we've had blockbuster players move from teams to team, change outfits, and ready to represent another club. We've seen Robert Lewandowski who moved from Bayern Munich to Barcelona, who has been amazing so far. We've seen Gabriel Jesus, who moved from Manchester City, a winning side, to an Arsenal. He has also cemented them in the glory days. I mean, 5 out of 5 wins for Arsenal. And Sadio Mane, who left the shores of England to Germany to meet Bayern Munich and has been graciously welcomed properly. Erling Haaland, who some of them have said might not be performing in the Premier League, has now had back-to-back hat-tricks in just a couple of match days, with Paulo Dybala also turning the stage on himself in Rome with Jose Mourinho. I mean, with these 5 players that I've listed, for me, they are the top performers that I've seen: Lewandowski, Jesus, Mane, Haaland, and Dybala. Among these 5 players, who would you say have been the best performers so far this season?
You can't take it away from Erling.
If we remove Erling Haaland,
if you take out Erling, I think
let's say Erling Haaland is just there naturally.
Then I'll give it to Dybala. And I'll tell you why. It's not so easy to play an attacking football under Jose Mourinho. I mean, you know what the man's philosophy is. So doing the Dybala thing under Mourinho, it's a great thing. Lewandowski will always be Lewandowski, even if it goes to Norwich. So I think right now I'll give it to Erling Haaland and Dybala.
All right, then. Daniel says we'll give it to Erling Haaland, who's cemented in the first, and Paulo Dybala in second place. Well, go to our social media handles. Let us know among these players we've listed out: Lewandowski, Jesus, Mane, Haaland, and Dybala. Rank them in order of what you think, who you think has been the best performer so far in the last couple of match days. And moving on to Cristiano Ronaldo, it's quite significant that we have to talk about this. It's almost impossible not to bring this into the fold. Cristiano Ronaldo has eventually stayed after he's been wanting to move out of Manchester United. I mean, to see one of the greatest players of all time play in the Europa League is a sight that even I, was an opposition fan, don't want to see. As he has stayed, will he play? That's what I'm asking.
So I was really hoping you'll exempt me from this question because I'm going to be biased. So this is it. Now, we saw Jose Mourinho carry the Conference League. I mean, that's the special one of the greatest coaches ever to leave. It's Cristiano Ronaldo we're talking about, Mr. Champions League. And it has happened negatively that he has to play in the Europa. I mean, we saw what Jorge Mendes did the whole summer, trying to push him to somewhere else. I think it has stopped him over time, the saga of the summer. And now it's a new season, window is closed. He has to stay, he has to play, he has to get his mojo back, and it's time to do it now. Else, nobody comes for you in the next summer.
I mean, nobody comes in the next summer. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, we know him to be the man for ego, the man who wants to be in the spotlight, the man who wants to score the goals. But we don't have a choice. He has stayed and he will play. Would he be able to conform to the coach's wills? We'll wait to see that in the coming match days. We're moving on to the sack race. It's been an amazing season for coaches. But, I mean, some coaches are already getting the sack, as we saw Scott Parker get the sack last week. I mean, it was quite distasteful for so many football fans. I felt really sad seeing him go. But from the cameo he had after the match, we just knew that was bound to happen. Now we have 3 coaches on the sack race list. We have Brendan Rodgers of Leicester City, who hasn't won a game this season. We have Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard has just won one out of his couple of games, and he's playing Manchester City next. That is just a big problem. And then we have the Merseyside derby happening today, first kickoff of the day with Everton and Frank Lampard facing Jurgen Klopp. Between these three managers, who gets the sack next?
So I think Brendan Rodgers is going to go first, and I'll tell you why. He made a post-match conference after the match against Manchester, saying that the window wasn't favourable to him, more like putting the pressure on the ownership of the club.
And they don't like that.
And they don't like that. I mean, you know how the English press is. Everything won't want to lose Lampard now because they got Idris Gueye, they got James Garner. They see there's something happening.
Wants to groom the team.
Yes, but Leicester, nothing is coming in. I think Gerrard just needs to get his mojo back. I don't know. I think Douglas Luiz wanted to leave in the summer, and a lot of entries and exits, destabilized him a bit. We saw what he did last season. So I think the first to go is going to be Brendan Rodgers, if he's going to go. But it's going to be hard to replace.
All right, if he's going to go, it's going to be Brendan Rodgers. But we'll wait to see who that is on the next for the sack race. Well, finally, let's move to Super Sunday. As we've had, Manchester United will be taking on Arsenal tomorrow in Super Sunday clash. Mind you, Arsenal, since the invincible season, have not had this remarkable feat so far. Arsenal have had 5 wins out of 5, making 15 points, top of the log. I mean, bragging right. But Manchester United have also come back from the death after the first 2 matches catastrophe, winning 3 games out of 3. Manchester United face Arsenal on Sunday at the Old Trafford. Daniel, your thoughts, your prediction?
You are my sincere thoughts, or you are my thoughts as the Manchester United fan?
Both.
So sincerely, I think Arsenal has had a very good winning spree. I mean, 5-5. This is amazing. But coming to Super Sunday without, supposedly without Thomas Partey, without Odegaard, without Ramsdale, without Elneny, against a fully complete Manchester United squad, I don't see how Arsenal are going to survive it at Old Trafford. I mean, they'll put on the fight, of course, that's why they are Arsenal, but it's Manchester you're playing, a team that's coming up. I think Arsenal know what's going to happen.
Give us a prediction.
3-1.
3-1. 3-1. Daniel says 3-1, Arsenal 3, Manchester 3, Arsenal 1. That's what that prediction is. Well, Daniel, thank you very much for coming on the show. Beautiful people, beautiful fans across the world, go to our Instagram page, Twitter handles, and put your predictions there. Arsenal, Manchester United versus Arsenal on Super Sunday. Let us know what you think in that regard, in that respect. But you know how we did? We went to the street to ask our fans who they think has been the most spectacular player so far this season with the Onile Corner. Here you have it. My name is Ayo Adams, and I'll be seeing you same time next week. Bye-bye for now.